Therefore, Yamamuni Akwaba about Melodies Podcast YouTube channel. So, Yamamuni Akwaba about Melodies Podcast YouTube channel. So, say, Sisi Ghana for word back one Eda and Kofu Bebre ano any Ponzi scheme. Into no Nkofu bisa se Ponzi scheme ne kreno any day. Say, yenim dentia Ponzi schemes are word no abeda Nkofu ano no. The course so ever men's gold no na masanso aye reports be pre atremo say ya hweme channel nim another company bi aye friend no GCCH omonso omode nkrofo bi omode omusika ejane ndra so masanso report ye company bi aye friend no TCL omoso omode nkrofo bi sika aye den ejane na the Ghana for ano ne say and the chess Nkofu we no munia omo ye Ponzi scheme. We share men's gold and so Nkofu bebre air cast no more ye Ponzi scheme. Na dear Nkofu bisa sisi and say into Ponzi scheme no and no any what is a Ponzi scheme. Na me wo audio be ewa ha a bet show what a Ponzi scheme is and how to differentiate between a Ponzi scheme. Not just say ubehu Ponzi scheme. I dear friend a Ponzi scheme no. Na wa we hu senior ebema wa share nso say oh adiwe ya mede misika ko shem no eye Ponzi scheme ni bia omo de misika bedwane nti no me bossa audio natural say what ya say but before me bossa audio natural no my read free a dictionary the definition of a Ponzi scheme. You read from Oxford Dictionary the definition of a Ponzi scheme. Now I say a Ponzi scheme is a form of fraud in which belief in the success of a non-existent enterprise is fostered by the payment of quick returns to the first investors from money invested by later investors. It's here for my memory to be must say a Ponzi scheme is a form of fraud in which belief in the success of a non-existent enterprise is fostered by the payment of quick returns to the first investors from money invested by later investors. Na share Ponzi scheme ya say nipa or the buy ekra no your friend the Ponzi ni din ankasa the Ponzi na ode ye nkrofo wie no na ye beto sa ade we din Ponzi scheme na de me read ye no me translate ewo eye twi mu a epese say Ponzi scheme no eye ejumako bi ana ade bi a ye be ma wati ase say oh ejuma bi wo ho na se ejuma no odi osika hyemu a obenya ska se ejuma no odi osika hyemu a ye de osika no eye ejuma a trese sika bebre beba na so ya ma o share nanso no de omo ya ne se omo di omusika eba first no omo di nkan edi omusika ba first no omo di omusika wo ho na every month ana time bia institution na wa invest ewo mu na mo kata say bi o metu a weekly a wa o di osika hyemu first ne de wo no ye safe omo mo di omusika beba later no omusika ene ebeje na ye de tia mo amode musika hyemu first no nti no hwa ebetu aso san nti no omunya new customers ni sika ni ye de tia old customers no nti sana Ponzi scheme na ete sanete internet for yankofa audio no Ghana for bebre ebisa say na ye besi den hu say ade we ye Ponzi enti yankofa audio we a better 5 ways to see how you know a Ponzi scheme enti no yankofa sa audio no na megidi say utie a bobeti ase na odi usika ashe njuma pamu na wejai Ponzi scheme no.
So you got some information on general
things to look out for.
Things to look out for when it comes to a Ponzi scheme. So, what is a Ponzi scheme? Why do they collapse? How did they get their name? And then, yeah, those are some of the points. There are other points on this document that are not relevant to Ghana. So
yeah, I'll skip those.
Okay, and then the more important one, what steps can I take to avoid Ponzi schemes and other investment frauds?
Yeah.
And then when you consider your next investment opportunity, what questions should you ask? Good. So just take us through quickly what a Ponzi scheme is.
Well, let me start. What is a Ponzi scheme? Now, a Ponzi scheme is an investment fraud that involves the payment of purported returns to existing investors from funds contributed by new investors. Ponzi scheme organizers often solicit new investors by promising to invest funds in opportunities claimed to generate high returns with little or no risk. In many Ponzi schemes, the fraudsters focus on attracting new money to make promised payments to earlier stage investors and to use for personal expenses instead of engaging in any legitimate investment activity.
So you contribute first.
Yes.
And then when more people start bringing money, we'll use those who contributed early's money to pay those who come on board and that kind of thing.
Yes.
Until it gets to a point where there's no new money coming in. Then I think collapses. So the question is, why does it collapse?
Yes. Let me take you though to the red flags before we get to how it collapses. Now, what are some of the red flags people should be on the lookout for? Now, many Ponzi schemes share common characteristics, so look out for these warning signs that funds are not being invested as promised. 1. High investment returns with little or no risk. Every investment carries some degree of risk, and investments yielding higher returns typically involve more risk. Be highly suspicious of any guaranteed, and emphasis on guaranteed, be highly suspicious of any guaranteed investment opportunity.
Okay.
2. Overly consistent returns. Investments tend to go up and down over time, especially those seeking high returns. Be suspicious of an investment that continues to generate regular, positive returns regardless of overall market conditions. Let me repeat this. Investments tend to go up and down over time, especially those seeking high returns. Be suspicious of an investment that continues to generate regular, positive returns regardless of overall market conditions. Another one to look out for: unregistered investments. Ponzi schemes typically involve investments that have not been registered with the SEC or with state regulators. Registration is important because it provides investors with access to key information about the company's management, products, services, and finances.
Okay.
Secretive and or complex strategies. Secretive and or complex strategies. Avoiding investments you don't understand or for which you can't get complete information is a good rule of thumb.
Yesterday, Mr. Edulabi said to me 2 days ago that the key principle is has to be simple.
Yeah.
So when something becomes too complex, chances are that they could be hiding something. So
Yes.
If you don't understand it, you better not put your money in it.
Yeah.
And then
Now, issues with paperwork. Ignore excuses regarding why you can't review information about an investment in writing, and always read an investment's prospectus or disclosure statement carefully before you invest. Also, account statement errors may be a sign that funds are not being invested as promised.
And then finally, if you're having difficulty receiving payments,
Yes,
you have to
be suspicious if you don't receive a payment or have difficulty cashing out on your investment. Keep in mind that Ponzi scheme promoters sometimes encourage participants to roll over promised payments by offering even higher investment returns.
So they lock you in. Now let's go to why Ponzi schemes collapse and any other thing we need to know. So yeah, I'm told with little or no legitimate earnings, since you say that the payments are made not on the basis of any legitimate investment activity, but on attracting new money to make promised payments to earlier stage investors, the schemes require consistent flow of money from new investors to continue. So they tend to collapse when it becomes difficult to recruit new investors, or when a large number of investors ask to cash out.
Yeah. Now, also, Bernard, we have to learn the difference between what is a Ponzi scheme and a pyramid scheme.
Okay.
Because we've had both in this town. Now, Ponzi and pyramid schemes are closely related because they both involve paying longer standing members with money from new participants instead of actual profits from investing or selling products to the public. Here are common differences. 1. Typical hook. Pyramid scheme. Earn high profits by making one payment and finding a set number of others to become distributors of a product. The scheme typically does not involve a genuine product. The purported product may not exist, or it may only be sold within the pyramid scheme.
Okay.
Now, for a Ponzi scheme, you earn high investment returns with little or no risk by simply handing over your money. the investment typically does not exist.
Okay.
Second one is payments or profits. Now, for a pyramid scheme, you must recruit new distributors to receive payments.
Okay.
But for a Ponzi scheme, no recruitment necessary to receive payments. Interaction with original promoter. For a pyramid scheme, sometimes there is no interaction with the original promoter. New participants may enter scheme at a different level. For a Ponzi scheme, promoter generally interacts directly with all participants.
Okay.
Sources of payments. Now, for a pyramid scheme, money is paid from new participants and always disclosed. The same thing for Ponzi schemes, from new participants, but it is never disclosed.
Okay.
So there's a difference there. And finally, on how it collapses. For a pyramid scheme, it collapses fast. An exponential increase in the number of participants is required at each level. For a Ponzi scheme, it may be relatively slow if existing participants reinvest
So a
money.
Ponzi scheme can go on for a long time.
Yes, for a very long time.
A friend who's a listener who's also a finance guy says, Bernard, another sign, check their website. If their grammar is not proper, know that the people behind the scheme are not proper.
Easy.